Hello, my name is Jonah and this is DIY Reptiles. I decided to call this channel DIY Reptiles because I really like reptiles. I really like animals in general, but reptiles are a specific interest of mine and I've kind of gotten into keeping them. 5 years ago today, on the day that I'm filming this, which is December 17th, 2022, I got this green iguana. And since then, I've just gotten more animals, mostly rescues, and I've built enclosures for them. So the DIY part of this is that I do a lot of things myself. I don't want to buy all of the reptile stuffs products that people make because I don't think a lot of them look very cool. So I build the backgrounds to my tanks and I build the tanks that I keep my animals in because there's just not ones available big enough for most common species. And I make videos about it. I try to share information both in the form of tutorials, like how to build enclosures like this, or I built this enclosure, and also just like, here's what I'm doing. So I rescue a lot of animals, or I have rescued a lot of animals, and I also breed some. So I want to kind of share my experiences with anything I'm doing, which is a lot of what this channel is just what am I doing? So, as I said, I got a green iguana 5 years ago, and it's my one pet store animal. I mean, it's my one pet store reptile because I didn't really know that I should be trying to rescue one, or maybe I did, but I couldn't find one at the time and I was impatient. Since then, pretty much all my animals have been rescues and or from Craigslist. So sometimes like I buy an animal from a breeder or something from Craigslist, but it's just somebody who doesn't want the animal anymore. So after the green iguana, I had always had fish tanks, and some of my fish, one of them in this tank is like 7 years old. It's a dwarf striped catfish. And I had always had fish tanks, but I saw some turtles online for free and I decided to get them. That was after getting the green iguana. And from there, I've rescued 20 plus turtles and I rehomed them. But I currently have 8 and I rescue a turtle here or there. I don't rehome the ones that I have because a lot of them I have to have a permit to have. All of the native ones I have a permit to have, and then the non-native ones are just my pets. So I have about 8 of them. One of them lives outside, and they all live outside in a 300-gallon stock tank during the summer, but one of them has an in-ground pond that it overwinters in. And then the other 7 come inside. So I have a pink belly side neck, 2 Washita map turtles. There is a super old red-eared slider. And then I have 2 red-eared sliders in here and 1 western painted turtle, and then the one outside is a red-eared slider as well. So all of the red-eared sliders and the Washita map turtles are pit tagged because I have to have a permit to keep them. And then I also just have fish. So in here we have some dojo loaches, a pleco, and some dwarf striped catfish. And then in here we have an Oscar that I recently took in that somebody didn't want anymore down there. And then here is the kind of community fish tank. I have a lot of koi catfish, though you wouldn't think it. There's a lot of these guys and then some other random fish that I've just taken in. Then I deal with a lot of plants. This is my arid terrarium, so we have tons of plants in there. We have tons of cuttings back there, and then all of my enclosures are bioactive because that's how I think these animals should be kept, is kind of bioactive. That's why I don't mind algae or kind of unsightly tanks per se, or like duckweed, because I'm just giving the animals what they need. So since then, I stopped taking in turtles because it's very hard to find people who can keep turtles. I've started working with mainly tropical arboreal geckos. So we have a mourning gecko in this tank, and we have a mourning gecko egg in this one. Hopefully it'll hatch. Then we have some baby crested geckos in here. We have an adult female crested gecko, an adult male crested gecko, adult female crested gecko, and you can see these tanks are really big. These are 55-gallon vertical tanks. We have a pair of gargoyle geckos in here. You can see the male right there. Then we have 2 female crested geckos in here. It's a mother and a daughter, but they're both adults. We have a pair of day geckos up in this terrarium, and then we have a adult male crested gecko in here. Then we have lots of baby crested geckos up here. You can see some of them are not so much babies anymore. There's a gargoyle gecko that I'm raising up. I'm hoping that's a female, and I'm hoping to breed it because currently my pair of gargoyle geckos isn't really producing. For some reason, the eggs won't hatch, even though all my crested gecko eggs hatch. So I'm trying to figure that out. Then we have giant cave roaches, red runner roaches, Madagascar hissing cockroaches, dubia roaches, and then a baby day gecko. Then I have a Toke Gecko, which lives in this tank, which wasn't here when I filmed the original video, but now it is here. So it is another 55-gallon tank that I built from scratch, which means I put the glass together and everything. And you can see at the top there's screen, so it can have UVB and heat. And then it is back inside this tree somewhere. I don't know, I haven't seen it. And it's kind of how it would be, but it's massive, it's huge. And I have this really nice bioactive 55-gallon tank that I made for it, which I'm really excited about. So that is all my stuff. That is what I have going on. I have the iguana. There's no reptiles that live in here, though I'm trying to build a top for it so I can put reptiles in there. I used to have a leopard gecko, but I decided to rehome it so I could focus more on tropical arboreal geckos. And then there's a bearded dragon in here. I've built all of these enclosures, except, the fish tanks. If I have fish tanks, then I got them off of Craigslist for free or somehow. And yes, I got this fish tank for like $10. So I'm kind of thrifty, if you will, with reptile stuff. I don't hold back with lighting. I buy a lot of expensive lighting to make sure my animals have everything they need, but I like to do things myself. So I want to share that with all of you, and I hope you enjoy. If you want to know a little bit about me, I take a lot of college classes, but I'm still in high school. Next year, I'll be going to OSU. I recently got accepted, and I'll be studying zoology. No way, that's crazy. And I hope to someday be a zoo veterinarian, or maybe a professor, or maybe somebody who builds reptile enclosures. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air, but the main thing that I tell people is a zoo veterinarian. So I hope you can kind of come along for the journey, and I'll kind of share the stuff that I learned in school that's now zoology related, and I'm pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about the years to come and studying the animals for real. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe to see what kinds of things I get up to, and like this video and comment if you want. I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.